Have you ever felt like someone was pulling the strings, subtly guiding your decisions for their own benefit? If so, you might have encountered a modern Machiavellian. Named after the political philosopher Niccolo Machiavelli, these individuals see the world as a chessboard and people as pieces to be moved. They are masters of influence who prioritize power and self-interest above all else. And while these traits can appear in anyone, research suggests they are more commonly observed in men. But here's the thing. While we're going to rank their tactics from the subtly manipulative to the openly destructive, they all spring from the same root, a cocktail of manipulativeness, a lack of deep-seated emotion, and a laser focus on what's in it for them. So, let's count down 13 of their most cunning psychological tricks. By the end, you'll not only be able to spot these maneuvers, but also understand the psychological architecture that makes them so powerful. Let's begin our journey from the subtle to the sinister. The subtle game, the art of quiet advantage. These first few tactics are on the craftier side of the spectrum. They're strategic, generally low harm, and often used by people who aren't necessarily malicious, just intensely ambitious and politically savvy. Number 13. Read social cues. The foundation of all Machiavellian influence is an uncanny awareness of the social environment. This isn't just about being a good listener, it's about mapping the entire power structure of a room. A high-mark individual can walk into a meeting and almost instantly identify the official hierarchy, the unofficial influences, the alliances, and the quiet rivalries. They don't just hear the words, they analyze tone, body language, and what isn't being said to build a mental map of the social landscape. This allows them to adapt on the fly, avoiding clashes with the powerful and aligning with those who can get them ahead. Number 12. Project emotional detachment. Have you ever seen a colleague get passed over for a promotion only to offer cheerful congratulations to the person who got the job? While that could be good sportsmanship, for a Machiavellian, it's a strategic advantage. It's not that they feel intense anger or envy and suppress it. It's that they often don't feel these emotions strongly in the first place. This lack of affect gives them an emotional coolness that makes them appear unshakable and hard to provoke. By maintaining a detached exterior, they keep rivals guessing and save their energy for the next move, proving the old idea that the person who reacts the least often controls the situation. Number 11. Strategic ingratiation. Anyone can give a compliment, but a Machiavellian uses flattery with surgical precision. They won't just shower praise on their boss, that's way too obvious. Instead, they practice strategic ingratiation. They might flatter the boss's most trusted advisor or loudly praise an idea the boss is fond of. This indirect approach lets them build favor and get closer to power without looking like a simple suck-up. It's all about making powerful people feel good, not just about themselves, but about their own judgment, which in turn makes them see the Machiavellian as insightful. Number 10. Play the strategic non-threat. In a competitive workplace, the person who seems the most ambitious is often seen as the biggest threat. Machiavellians get this, and they actively work to avoid that label. They often adopt a low profile, blending in and making themselves seem helpful and harmless. They don't brag about their wins or challenge people in public. This allows them to fly under the radar, gathering information and building alliances, while their more openly ambitious rivals take all the heat. They know real power is often built in the shadows, and by the time they make their move, nobody will have seen it coming. The gray zone, where manipulation gets messy. All right, now we're moving into murkier territory. These tactics are far more manipulative and start to cross serious ethical lines. The goal here isn't just to fit in, but to actively get ahead at someone else's expense. Number 9. Knowledge withholding. Information is power, and the Machiavel hoards it. Knowledge withholding is the practice of intentionally failing to share crucial information with others to create dependency and keep the upper hand. Did a client change a major deadline? Did they find a shortcut that could save the team hours of work? They might just keep that to themselves and watch a colleague struggle. Then, when the colleague is falling behind, the Machiavellian can sweep in with the solution, looking both hyper-competent and indispensable, while their rival appears inept. It's a quiet form of sabotage that's incredibly hard to prove. Number 8. Charm manipulation. Many people with Machiavellian traits can be incredibly charming. But unlike genuine warmth, their charm is a tool often deployed in brief and insincere displays to achieve a goal. They use it to disarm people, build superficial trust, and get what they want, whether it's a leadership role or just getting someone to do them a favor. The danger is how well it works. This surface-level charisma acts like a cloak, hiding their self-serving motives and making it difficult for others to see the manipulation happening right in front of them. We're about to cross the line from gray to genuinely dark. Before we get to the most destructive tricks on our list, if you're finding this breakdown of psychological tactics insightful, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're all about arming you with knowledge so you can recognize these behaviors and protect yourself. Number 7. Promise deception. This is the classic bait and switch. A Machiavellian will dangle a false promise to get what they want right now, with zero intention of ever delivering. They might promise a junior colleague a big recommendation or a share of the credit on a project to get them to work weekends. But once the project is done and the Machiavellian gets the glory, that promise suddenly vanishes. The colleague is left with nothing, and since the promise was informal, they have no way to hold the person accountable. It's a nasty tactic that exploits trust and ambition. Number 6. Credit theft. Few things sting more than having your hard work stolen. For the Machiavellian, taking credit for someone else's idea is just an efficient way to climb the ladder. They might present a team member's concept as their own in a big meeting, or subtly rewrite a report to make it seem like they did all the heavy lifting. This often happens behind closed doors, turning any accusation into a he said, she said situation where the person with more power usually wins. It's a deeply unethical move that preys on the power dynamics of the workplace. The dark end, outright psychological warfare. We've now arrived at the most destructive end of the spectrum. These tactics aren't just manipulative, they are actively harmful and designed to cause significant psychological distress. Number 5. Undermining reputations. This is where the Machiavellian goes from deception to outright character assassination. To take out a competitor, they will subtly spread rumors or plant seeds of doubt about that person's competence or character. They won't make direct accusations. Instead, they'll use concerned-sounding questions in a conversation with the manager, like, "I'm a little worried about Sarah. She seems so stressed lately. Is she handling the new project okay?" This creates the perception of a problem, without the Machiavellian having to tell a single provable lie. Number 4. Micromanagement and threats. Once in power, a Machiavellian leader might use intimidation to maintain absolute control. This can look like relentless micromanagement, where every tiny task is scrutinized to make their team feel anxious and incompetent. They may also use veiled threats, implying that someone's job is on the line if they don't comply with unreasonable demands. This creates a toxic work environment built on fear. It kills creativity and breeds resentment, but it guarantees the one thing they want: obedience. Number 3. Abusive supervision. This tactic takes things a step further, creating an environment of constant, unpredictable stress. An abusive Machiavellian boss shows a shocking indifference to the well-being of their employees. They might use the silent treatment to punish someone for a perceived mistake, create chaotic workflows on purpose, or even publicly humiliate a team member. The goal is to keep everyone walking on eggshells and psychologically off balance. This behavior is incredibly destructive and a major cause of burnout and anxiety in the workplace. Number 2. Sabotage is about words. Sabotage is about destructive action. A Machiavellian will deliberately interfere with a colleague's work to make them fail. This could be anything from forgetting to pass on critical information from a client to deleting key files from a shared drive or misrepresenting a colleague's needs to another department. It's a calculated act of professional warfare designed to give the Machiavellian an advantage by ensuring someone else loses. Number 1. Gaslighting and emotional abuse. At the most sinister end of the spectrum, we find the systematic destruction of a person's reality. Gaslighting is a profound form of psychological manipulation, where the abuser makes the victim question their own memory, perception, and even their sanity. A Machiavellian may deny saying things they definitely said, invent events that never happened, or twist facts to make their victim feel like they're losing their mind. While this is a tactic used by different types of manipulators, in the hands of a Machiavel, it is the ultimate tool of control, designed to erode a person's sense of self until they are completely dependent on their abuser. So, from strategic social positioning to outright psychological warfare, the Machiavellian playbook is a chilling look at human influence. These 13 tricks reveal a mindset where the ends always justify the means. The purpose of this video isn't to teach you these tactics, but to give you a shield. Awareness is your first and most powerful defense against manipulation. When you can name the game being played, you take back control. You're no longer just a piece on their board. You're a player who understands the rules. What are your thoughts? Have you witnessed any of these tactics in your own life? Share your experiences in the comments below, and let's continue this important conversation. Thanks for watching.